Welcome back, everybody, to the Steve and Bobby Show. If you guys didn't tune into the first segment, we talked about Senator Elizabeth Warren and some of her policies, not all of them, but some of her policies. So make sure you tune into the first section. You'll find some pretty good information on there. So let's kind of switch it up now. We're because there's other stuff going on in America, in the United States. And what we've noticed here in the United States is that there is an increase of militia and extremist groups in America, okay? And this is across the board. There's all types of militias and these weird fringe groups that seem to be coming out of nowhere. And it's starting to fragment into where it's almost blurred lines into law enforcement, well, I guess there's no blur lines for me and you because we know there is no blur line.
No.
But we want to give you an example. So first, let's go by the numbers, okay? So in the numbers from 2009 to 2018, right-wing extremists accounted for 73% of all extremist killings and terrorist killings within the United States, okay? Now, this is not to put blame on right-wing. That's just not the point here. The point is I'm just giving you the numbers that are given by the federal government, okay? So 73% are right-wing extremists, 23% are of Islamist extremists, and then we have 3% that are left-wing extremists. That's a problem. And the numbers are high. If you go and look at the numbers, I actually didn't put the actual numbers down. They're pretty scary. And these militia groups are increasing in size. They're increasing in popularity with the social media, with a lot of stuff that are engrouped in that. And the reason why I bring this up, because this is where there is an actual blur line. You have militia groups, and then you have groups that are perceived to be helping law enforcement.
Well, we talked about last week or week before, Candace Owens. White nationalism.
Yeah.
By providing a platform for people to do things under that guise of patriotism or nationalism, when it's really white nationalism. You know, we're providing that opportunity for folks to hide under that guise, and it causes and it helps influence individuals to act upon violence, to use violence, to be able to carry out their agenda. You know, I mean, Easter break, we just had the terrible bombing at in Sri Lanka, right?
Oh yeah, the church bombing.
And then ISIS is saying that's in response to the stuff that happened in New Zealand. Yeah. You guys, violence begets violence. This needs to stop. Get out there and speak up. Make a show. Whatever it is, go there. Okay, do that. Speak. But when you're coming to ending people's lives, when you're coming to destroy people's lives, you're going too far. That is too far. And so that has to stop.
Right.
But we're seeing folks think that it's okay, and that has to stop. So we call it right-wing terrorism. Before they were right-wing activists.
Yeah, that's how it turned out. Tea Party.
Right-wing activists. And then now, we got to go all the way to the end.
Yep.
And this has to stop.
Yeah, because what happens is if you see an overcompensation of something where you have these militia groups that are, whether they're right or left, doesn't matter, you're going to see an overcompensation on the other side.
Right.
And no one is going to stand by to be targeted. No, that's just not going to happen. So that's why, like you said, if you're concerned about what's happening, if you're concerned about immigration, which is fine, that's a good concern. Okay, there was an issue to that of some sort, right? Let's fix it the right way. We're not going to fix it by building a wall. You're not going to fix it by arming yourself and going to the border. We have a border patrol. You pay taxes. We have a border patrol that's well armed that can handle the border. This nonsense of arming yourselves and going to the border. And this is the reason why I bring this up. I don't know. Do we put let's put the image up of. So this is domestic terrorism-related killings in the U.S. by perpetrators' affiliations in 2018. So we had that up already, didn't we? I think we did. So
we did.
That
just a reminder, guys. There's the growth. But let's take a look at the next one.
Let's look at So this is why these kind of stuffs are important, because we're going to merge into the video, and I want you to see the video of why how these groups can turn into something that may be legitimate.
Okay.
as vigilante groups stopping and detaining immigrants. As you can see in this video, the men and women dress in military-style uniforms, they carry weapons, and appear on video that we've listened to identify themselves as police officers when they find immigrants who have crossed the border in remote areas. They then detain those immigrants while calling the real Border Patrol agents. They call themselves the United Constitutional Patriots.
There's all kind of problems here. Impersonating police officers, kidnapping. I mean, there's all kind of things here.
United States Constitutional Patriots.
Remember,
right?
we talked about the keyword things here.
Hiding under those guises and thinking that they're absolutely right. Look, you believe in the Constitution, you believe in following the law, follow the law. Okay, so wherever they are at the border, I don't know which state that they're in. So in New Mexico. So I don't know what the open carry laws are over there. But I know in California, you concealed carry. We don't have any open carry that's out, you know, unless you're hunting. But the concealed carry laws don't allow you to brandish a firearm and point it at somebody.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
and so that's another thing.
Yeah.
You know, and these folks, look, you're not trained. Okay? You're not trained to do this. You're not working under the government at all, and you're going out there and doing this. When you kill someone, you're going to prison.
Yeah.
You're going to prison. Okay? And some of you already, we're talking about it, you're going to go to prison for pretending to be an officer of the law. You don't do that in this country. We cannot let that happen. I just don't understand the hypocrisy behind that.
There's a lot of hypocrisy behind that. And you know, and these are usually people that claim law and order.
Yeah.
These are people that you know, they believe in the Constitution. There's all these things they believe in, but here's the idea here. Think about it. Think about it, everybody that's out there. You have militia groups that are upset that are people that are coming into the border, okay? Illegally. Got it. Okay? But you yourself can't go out and do something illegal. You're doing the exact same thing. You're just doing something different and breaking a different law. So you can't do one because you're upset at the other. Doesn't work that way. Law enforcement don't need your help. Trust me, they don't. They got predators and they got drones. They got things where they can watch.
No, they can use your help. Go become a police officer. Enlist. Go and get training. Go to the academy.
Yeah.
They can use that right now.
Yeah.
And you know the help. We need help everywhere. Yeah. And so go and do that, but don't do it illegally. Don't do it this way. And please, be smart. Because I know there's some 18-year-olds out there, 17-year-olds out there that want to participate in this. And let me tell you, there are other groups that we can say, earlier you said left-wing terrorism, which was at 3%, and that can grow. And these are the opportunities for them to grow. And realize this, that when a private citizen brandishes a firearm for no apparent reason on another private citizen, if the other private citizen is a concealed carry weapon person, they can brandish that and shoot back.
Yep.
So technically, if you got somebody out there or a group that's out there just sitting around waiting for one of these, you know, militiamen to jump around and point a gun at them, those folks actually have the right to shoot back.
Yep.
So please, kids, young minds, think about the danger you're putting yourself in and be smart about it. Let's do it the right way. Don't put your life in jeopardy here.
And you know, there's other problems, you know, that you know is involved here. You have people, right? And here, I know there's people out there going, well, they're not doing, the politicians are not doing what they're supposed to do on the border. And look, when you put militia members at the border that are not vetted, nobody knows who they are, you're just putting armed men in there because you think that they have one certain view that you view, this can happen. Check this video out.
Learning more about the alleged activities of a leader of a militia group that's been detaining migrants near the U.S.-Mexico border. 69-year-old Larry Mitchell Hopkins, head of the United Constitutional Patriots, is charged with being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now, he could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted. Videos from the group apparently show militia members stopping migrants, sometimes at gunpoint near the border in New Mexico.
So this is why you don't want, because, okay, so he's a convicted felon, right?
Yeah.
Could have a convicted rapist, could have known terrorist.
Yeah. And he wasn't vetted and all that stuff.
Vetted.
But look, yes, that can happen. You could put the guns in the wrong hands. But the guns actually belong in the hands, and they technically don't even need it for some of these things, is our Border Patrol agents, or our police force, or our militia, our Army, our National Guard, whomever it is. they're the ones who are trained to have those guns in their hands. But I do have an issue with that for the mere fact that he was not arrested for the action that he was taking.
That was my
Right. What
that
is
was
that?
my
What is
next
that?
point. I was gonna get to that. And that
Why do you have to be a felon to get arrested when you're doing something illegal like that?
When I talk to a lot of people, I talk to a lot of fellow progressives that are out there, and they're like, yeah, they arrested him. Yeah, but they arrested him for something he did a decade ago. It
Right.
wasn't for the action that he was doing,
Right.
the law he was breaking.
Right.
And by the way, he wasn't by himself. There was a couple of dozen of these guys.
I mean, I can see, are you stupid? What are you doing, man? You got a felony. You can't have a gun out here. Come on, guys. You can't have guns out there anyways doing what you're doing. Stop.
And remember, too, that, and to be fair, New Mexico, I guess it was on where these militiamen were on, what do you call railroad land. It was land owned by the railroad, and the railroad got upset. So I didn't realize that the railroad had their own law enforcement. Did you know that?
They do.
I
And
did
railroad
not know
has
that.
their own property, so you
Yeah.
can't do anything on theirs. Yeah.
So what they did was the railroad law enforcement went to local law enforcement, filed a complaint, and they both went out and evicted the militiamen. So now they've been disbanded, and they're upset. And there was a lot of property owners that they were trespassing on private. There's just so many laws.
Right,
that
and that's why they
guys are-
take the train.
Yeah.
Because the railway
Yeah.
is not the other private property's person.
Right.
Like if they have a house out there, they're allowed to. They can't kick them off the railway.
Yeah.
The railway has to kick them off.
Yeah.
The owners of the system there.
So the governor was, at least he did the right thing. I'm sure that I don't know what the situation with the Border Patrol was, because these guys turned 300 immigrants there. So I don't know what the story is with the immigration law enforcement and the militia, because there's talk that these two groups were working in cohesion with each other. So I don't know. So there's no fact to that. It's just something that I heard. So if that's that's dangerous. And it's,
I think everyone should be speaking out
Yeah.
against people setting up their own private militia.
yeah. Period. We got law enforcement. We got
Right.
Yeah. And you have the right in the United States to own a weapon.
Right.
You have the right to bear arms. You just
Right.
when you start getting together and start forming these groups, you're no different than a gang.
And when I say militia, let me get this. I mean militia acting upon law enforcement.
Yeah.
Right.
Or acting as law enforcement.
Right. And so you're going out there and carrying out and protecting and doing that stuff. We can't allow that to happen.
No.
We cannot. We don't allow people to patrol their own neighborhoods with guns and arrest folks and hold them there.
We have
No.
the Zimmerman case.
Right. And
And this is where a lot of these laws.
Too much tragedy.
And when you had the state of Florida, I'm glad you brought that up. They had the stand your ground laws, and then you have these issues, and then you just have senseless types of murders.
Stand your ground, whatever side you want. It's not even comparable still.
Yeah.
Stand your ground is you at least have a sense of defense.
Yeah, and that's what you were saying.
You know
earlier.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever that law is there, and that's interpretable. It's not that I agree with it, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There they go. They're doing that. But this one here, it's
a group of men, non-vetted.
They're not defending themselves. They're not under any danger whatsoever.
Yeah, and they come from other states.
They have no intention.
I think they were
of
from
defending
Michigan.
themselves and stuff. In a sense. And so, anytime violence comes from the use of a weapon in defense, it's you never get defense when you're seeking something out. So if you shoot somebody but you went out there and you caused a fight with them and you ended up shooting each other, you don't get to claim defense anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And what's funny about this is I think a majority of these militia guys were from Michigan. Isn't Michigan a border state? I think Michigan is a border state of Canada.
Canada.
Okay, so I'm like, you got a border over there y'all can stay at. If it's that important to you, so we know what.
Well, actually, Canada's got people on the other side of the fence.
Yeah,
they want to grow bushes. I saw a GoFundMe to grow bushes to make sure they can keep us from coming in, because we've actually had a lot of refugees from America go into Canada.
Yeah.
I think tens of thousands.
I was watching they had this doctor, head of a hospital or something like that in Canada, here at a congressional meeting. They were talking about the inflow of American immigrants going into Canada, doctors, nurses, professionals, and non-professionals. So it's just amazing. Anyway, that's just, I don't know.
So please put the guns down.
Please do. There's really no need for it. And law enforcement, they got it. They got it covered. And you can help. Bobby mentioned it. You can help.
I'm sure they're hiring.
They're hiring. They're always, especially Border Patrol. They always hire.
They're hiring.
Border Patrol always. If you bilingual and you want to go do that, go do it, man. It pays halfway decent.
And if they don't let you in, you probably aren't qualified.
Don't join the militia. All right, I appreciate everybody for watching here. The Steve Bobby Show. We're going to head into segment 3. I appreciate it so much. Don't forget, I was telling them, watch the Elizabeth Warren segment that we did in part 1. I appreciate you. Anything you got left out?
If you're watching it to this very point, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, please like the Mad Talk TV show's Facebook page. We'll catch you on the other side, guys.
Plenty of content over there. Plenty of content.